everybody. How's your Disney World vacation going today? Well, I guess you're not really at Disney World and this is more of like a virtual field trip, but we still hope to bring some of the magic of Disney World to you. I've been going to Disney World since I was 3 years old. My parents took me when I was 3. My grandparents took my cousin and I when we were 4 and 5, about there. I remember when I turned 5, I was at the Hoop-de-Doo, and I got to stand up on a chair, and everyone sang happy birthday to me, so that was a really special memory. The other memory I have specifically is we were staying in the Contemporary, and my grandmother put us in the tub, and we plugged up the bathtub, and the entire bathtub filled with water, and then it flooded the whole floor, and we got in really big trouble. And then one other story from Disney World, my cousin and I loved every ride. We went on the teacups, we went on Dumbo, we went on the carousel, we did all kinds of fun stuff. But one day, we showed up to the park, we were both wearing beautiful sundresses. You might start to see where this is going. We show up in our sundresses, we go on all the rides, we're riding on Dumbo, we're having a super good time. We get back to the hotel, and all of a sudden, my cousin announces that she had spent the entire day at the Magic Kingdom not wearing underwear. And my grandmother was just beside herself. She just couldn't believe it. But that's what happens when you take little kids to Disney World. But anyway, if you're anything like me, going on the rides is super fun. But the other part that makes a Disney World vacation special is the food. Like just finding food from the cars, from the places that have really good restaurants, all that really makes the Disney vacation special. But if the food is shaped like Mickey Mouse, I don't know what it is about it, but it makes the food taste better. Mickey waffles, Mickey beignets, Mickey ice cream bars, or what we're going to make today, Mickey Rice Krispie Treats, which you will have the option if you would like to dunk in chocolate or if you just like to keep it standard, just the good old-fashioned Mickey Rice Krispie bar. Before we get started, just want to remind you to wash your hands before you start cooking. And if at any time during the cooking process your hands feel sticky, dirty, whatever, you can always wash them again. But that is a major thing. And another thing I want to mention, because I know I'm not going to remember to mention it later, is you do not have to take your Rice Krispie treats and make them into a Mickey shape. You can use any cookie cutter that you'd like. Make it SpongeBob, make it a whale, make it the shape of Rhode Island, or just take a knife and cut them into bars and do it that way. It's totally up to you.
So one of the first things, of course, that you want to do is to get out all of your ingredients. I've got out my Rice Krispies. I've got my mini marshmallows, some chocolate chips for the chocolate coating, and a stick of butter, which you're going to use 3 tablespoons of, and then also my Mickey Mouse cookie cutter that you can see over in the corner.
All right, so now the next step is you're going to get out your pan. My pan that I'm using is glass, but you could use metal. This is 13 inches by 9 inches, so obviously width-wise 13, the length is 9. We are going to be spraying it down with my old friend Pam. You might remember this from the Olympic cooking video. Just give it a light grease all around the whole pan. So when you're making Rice Krispie treats, you can use 2 different methods. Number 1, you can put all the ingredients in a bowl and melt everything all down and then mix in your Rice Krispie bars, which is actually what I'm going to do. Or you can add everything into a pan. Start by melting the butter in a pan, a saucepan on the stove. Then add the marshmallows, melt it all down, and then add the Rice Krispie bars. They both work. Both techniques work great. They're going to make the same delicious Rice Krispie treats. I'm just going to try to be as easy peasy as I can be and just use the microwave. So I started with 3 tablespoons of butter. I counted the 3 tablespoons on the side of the stick of butter. I'm going to melt that first in the microwave, give it about 30 seconds before I add my marshmallows. Now that the butter is melted in my bowl, I'm going to add in my marshmallows. It calls for 5.5 cups, which if I take my 1 cup measure and measure out 5.5, that will give me 5.5 cups. I also have cheated and already know that there's about 5.5 cups in this bag. So I'm just gonna add the whole thing. It's a 10-ounce bag. I'm gonna dump that in with my butter. Very exciting. Who doesn't love some good marshmallows? All right, so now I want to get these marshmallows melted with my melted butter. So I'm going to throw them into my microwave up here. I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's just finishing up. I can see we've got just a few seconds left. I can also see the marshmallows like puffing up in the bowl. If you've never done this, but at Easter they have those Peeps candies. If you put them in the microwave, they blow up really big and it's just fun to watch. It's a fun little, I don't know if you call it a science experiment, but just a fun little thing to do with Peeps. All right, so let's check these marshmallows out. So if you look, they've blown up quite a bit. Can you see that without me dumping it all on the floor? So now I'm going to mix the butter with the marshmallows and check and make sure that the marshmallows are all melted. It's hard to show what this looks like, but if I lift up the marshmallow, can you see how goopy it is and how nice and melted they all are? So the next step is just plenty easy. You're going to take your, whoa, almost dumped all the Rice Krispies on the floor. You're going to take 6 cups of Rice Krispies and add them to the bowl. So I'm going to be digging in with this measuring cup and counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more, 6. All right, now I might not have chosen a large enough bowl. So the bigger the bowl that you have, the better. The bigger the bowl you have, the better. So then we're gonna mix this all together. All right, so I've mixed together my Rice Krispies, my melted butter, my melted marshmallow, and it looks like this all mixed together in the bowl. So what I'm going to do next is spread the Rice Krispie mixture into my prepared 13 by 9 inch pan. Little hint, when you're putting the Rice Krispie mixture into the pan, sometimes it's hard to get it like flattened down, and the Rice Krispie mixture is real super sticky, like it's sticky on the spoon. So sometimes what I'll do to make sure that they go down flat to make it nice for when I'm using the cookie cutter is I take my friend Pam again, here she is again, Pam, and I just spray on my hands and give it a rub. And then I can use my hands to push it down, and my hands don't stick, which is super nice. It's nice when your hands don't stick to the Rice Krispies, but that's what I'm doing, pushing it down. So if you look right now, you can see how I got the Rice Krispie. Ooh, it's sliding. I shouldn't hold it up like that, but I got the Rice Krispie all nice and flat into the pan. Now I'm just gonna let it set up a bit before I try to cut it out with my Mickey cookie cutter. Alrighty, next step, we are going to take our Mickey Mouse cookie cutter and we are going to cut out, I think I can get about 6 Mickeys from my 1 pan of Rice Krispie treats. And I did beforehand 1 that I cut out so you can see, look how cute this is. So I'm gonna get 6 out and we'll see how we do after that. So you push down with the cookie cutter, and you might have to really push kind of hard. You might need to have an adult help you with this part. And then when you pull it out, it's all stuck here in my cookie cutter, and then I just push it through, and right now I'm just pushing it through onto a cutting board because there's still one more step where I'm going to dip them in chocolate. So I'm gonna do that for the other 4, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, right now, we are going to let Higgins have a taste test of the Rice Krispie treat. Let's see what he thinks. I think he likes it. One more big giant bite. Alrighty, so now I'm ready to dip my Mickey Rice Krispie treats into melted chocolate. So what I did was I dumped, I know it's gonna make a mess. I dumped my chocolate chips into this bowl. I'm gonna set them in the microwave 30 seconds at a time until they're melted, and then I can dip my treats. I've got my chocolate chips all melted, and I'm going to start dipping my Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie treats into the chocolate. When I'm done dipping, I'm going to set it out on a piece of parchment paper. And I know in my last video I said parchment paper a lot of times, but parchment is great because the Rice Krispie mixture and the chocolate won't stick to the parchment. So then when it's all dried and set, it'll be real easy to pick up your Mickeys. Now this is where you could be a little creative. Of course, Mickey Mouse, you could dip his ears. You could dip the bottom. You want just his face to be chocolate. You want just his ears to be chocolate. This is summer. You might want to dip the whole stinking Mickey into the chocolate. I think I'm going to do the ears. This one, I'm going to do the bottom of it, just his face. This one, I'm just gonna dip the whole Mickey in. One side completely covered in chocolate.
So here's the finished product. Here are 4 completed Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie treats. I had cooled them and let the chocolate set in the fridge, and then I pulled them out, and this is what they look like. They are absolutely, positively delicious.